Hi everyone, Katie here with the astrology for the week. Have an exciting week in the cosmic energies. We're moving towards the new moon in Gemini on Thursday, and today, Monday, we're starting the week with a 6-planet lineup all in one part of the sky that's visible in the sky around sunrise. So if the sky is clear where you are, if you have a good pair of binoculars or even a telescope to help you see the outer planets, you'll be able to see Jupiter, Mercury, Uranus, Mars, Neptune and Saturn all rising in a line above the sun. Now, this is quite a rare occurrence and it creates a very focused energy with all those planets tightly packed in one area of the sky. So this is a very focused time right now. Saturn is midway through Pisces, bringing structure and order to things that are more flowing. Pisces rules the healing, arts, creativity, film, areas where people naturally like to go with the flow. Saturn is bringing order and boundaries to those areas of life, and we're midway through that cycle now. Neptune is at 29 degrees Pisces, which is the very end of Pisces. Neptune, of course, being the ruler of Pisces, and we're preparing for Neptune to enter Aries, which will be a very new cycle. But with Neptune at 29 degrees Pisces, this is very powerful, and there's a lot of healing energy available to us now, and a lot of higher guidance and insights that we can tap into and connect to at this time. Mars is coming to the end of Aries, Mars being the ruler of Aries, so there's a lot of active energy that we can channel, Mars being the masculine energy, the will, the drive. So there's all the flowing energy of Neptune at the moment, the higher guidance, and there's the active energy of Mars. So it's actually a very good time to start things and put energy into where you want to go. And today we have the moon in Taurus. The moon has just gone into Taurus, which is a nice grounding, stable energy to begin the week. So it's a good time to look at what work needs to be done on the projects that you're working on. Just put the foundations in place, maybe get out into nature if you can, get some earth energy, just get really focused and stable about where you're going and what you're going to do this week. And then Uranus is coming to the end of Taurus. These are the planets that we can see in the sky now. Uranus is, of course, the planet of change and awakening. So this has been creating major disruptions and all kinds of changes in the world since Uranus has been in Taurus. Now, Mercury has just gone into Gemini today. So communications are going to be almost speeded up because Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, and it's all about fast communication, the element of air, interactions, sharing ideas, circulating, talking to different people, different social groups. And also with Jupiter just gone into Gemini, we're going to be seeing a lot more expanded communications in all areas. So if there are things that you want to say to people, this is actually probably a good time to do it, because we have that energy of communication, and we also have Venus in Gemini bringing the sensitivity. So it's all about saying something with the right sweetness if you have something important to say, and bringing the energy of love into your communications so they're not just detached and might land the wrong way. So we're beginning the week with all these planets lining up here. Now, Venus is rising with the sun at the moment, and tomorrow we have the exact Sun-Venus conjunction. When Venus moves in front of the sun, it's known as Venus Cazimi, and she enters into the heart of the sun and is burned up in the solar fire to be completely renewed. So this is a profound time for relationships. And Venus can't be seen at the moment because she's in the underworld. She's not rising as the morning or evening star. We won't be able to see her until the 10th of July, when she rises as the evening star and begins her ascent, which is known as the ascent of Inanna. So with Venus in the underworld, this has been a time of deep contemplation and introspection in relationships. It's a good time to connect with your subconscious, look at what needs healing, what you need to release and cleanse and let go, to begin a new cycle in your relationships and your relationship with your significant other. And when Venus conjuncts the sun, this is really a time of renewal of the heart, renewal of the soul, renewal of that divine feminine energy, and a new way of approaching relationships, because we're getting down to the pure heart essence of any connection, and the soul connections in your life will make themselves known. So we're heading towards the new moon in Gemini on Thursday. And the interesting thing about Jupiter in Gemini is that it's expanding the Gemini energy, which is the energy of communications, social media, connections, circulation. Now, in esoteric astrology, the sign of Gemini, the twins, is about the soul and the personality, and how the soul is tethered to the personality being the physical, emotional and mental bodies combined. So if you're ruled only by your personality, you're being ruled by the lower nature. So this is like the dark twin in a sense, because it's the unenlightened, unawakened twin. And the soul is the light twin, the soul being the bridge to spirit, the bridge to the divine. Now, the soul and the personality should ultimately come into balance and become one. So with all this Gemini energy, with Jupiter in Gemini, Jupiter being the planet of wisdom and mystery teachings, we'll be shown how much we've come into alignment with our soul. So you'll be shown, where is your lower nature trying to take over? Are the messages from your soul getting through? Where do you need to come more into balance with that? So it can be a very enlightening time. And as we move into the new moon in Gemini on Thursday, some of these issues will be highlighted. The new moon is a new beginning of the lunar cycle when the sun conjuncts the moon. It's a very powerful energy that affects us physically on Earth. It affects everything on Earth as a new beginning, a new cycle. So in the sign of Gemini, this is about renewed communications. It's about releasing the old and allowing yourself to communicate in a new way. So it's a good time to clear away old mental patterns and belief structures that were blocking you or perhaps obstructing your communication with the people in your life and also in your business. So it's a good time to clear away and get down to the essence of how you really want to communicate your message and how you can express that most clearly. And the new moon is squaring Saturn. So Gemini is a very light energy. It wants to move, it wants to circulate. And then we have this square to Saturn, which is more serious. So there's still going to be some weighty, serious issues that are affecting things, and you might want to go out and socialize and just do something fun, but then there's something important that needs to be taken care of as well. So just be aware of that. It's like an anchoring into more serious things that can't really be overlooked. The new moon is also conjunct Venus, so we have a Sun, Moon, Venus conjunction on the new moon day, which is really beautiful because Venus in Gemini brings a softer, more charming, diplomatic energy to Gemini, because Gemini can be just all about the mind. It can be quite detached. It can be detached from morals on a certain level as well, which gives rise to the energy of gossip, which is obviously the lower, one of the shadow traits of Gemini. And with Venus there, it's much sweeter, it's more considerate, it's more creative, it's more about heart-centered sharing. So there's a lot of potential for new beginnings around this new moon coming just after the Sun-Venus conjunction. And then on Friday, moving towards Friday and the weekend, the moon will be entering Cancer. So with the moon in Cancer for the weekend, this is a nice time to be with family, with friends and loved ones if you can. And also it's a good time to broach more sensitive issues. With the moon in Cancer, people are more receptive emotionally. Now we do have Mars. Mars has been in Aries with it has the rulership of that sign. So we've had this strong masculine energy of action and going after your dreams, making things happen. You may have felt more energy to start projects and begin things. And Mars is entering Taurus at the weekend. So your efforts, your active energy is going to be more slow and considered. So hopefully you've started things, you've put energy into what you want to create, and then when Mars enters Taurus, it'll be more about putting the nuts and bolts in place, getting things really grounded, putting in the hard work. And Mars will be moving into a square with Pluto, so that's a slightly tough energy which is emerging at the end of the week, Mars square Pluto. So if you're feeling challenged, it's just the planetary energy, so try to look at the underlying causes and what's behind that, and just know that that will also pass, because that's going to be highlighted with a T-square involving the moon. That's at the end of the week, so it's good to keep your feet on the ground and make sure you don't neglect anything. Make sure your foundations are solid as we move into that energy of Mars in Taurus. And the moon in Cancer should be a very heart-centered weekend. Thanks for listening, and remember to subscribe to my channel to get all the astrology updates, cosmic energy reports, and have a lovely week.